All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. And now we wait. Let's see. Let me get
That
over
boy,
here.
I got a man that's wanting to go investigating with us, y'all.
Who is it?
Randy, with a friend of Jim.
Can't hear you.
Don't put last name. Don't say last names.
Oh, sorry.
Who is it?
A friend of Jeff's.
Where's he at?
He lives in Greensea.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Well,
So it might just be the four of the four 1, 2, 3, 4 the four of us tonight, but we'll be on here for just a little bit. Um, just because we were supposed to go live tonight from an investigation, and yeah, we were supposed to go live tonight from an investigation, but there was some emergency that came up with the location. So let's see. Let's refresh that. Refresh that there. We'll see if anybody hops on. But how's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Been battling a headache for 3 days.
Yeah.
it still ain't quit.
No.
Sorry, y'all. We're getting adjusted.
Yeah, because y'all were at the cemetery.
Yeah, we're in Ainer.
Nice. So we got 3 people on right now. Hello, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. We're just going live for a little bit tonight because we were supposed to go live at we're supposed to have an investigation tonight, but unfortunately we had some issues come up. So if y'all have any questions, we can do a live Q&A right now. Candy and Christy are in Ainer about to do some investigating of their own. Where in Ainer are y'all?
Ainer Cemetery.
Where is that at?
Right on the same side of the road as Hardy's.
Oh, okay.
Right beside the school,
Okay.
the high school.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Yeah.
where that's at.
Ainer High School. At the
Oh,
stoplight where
yeah,
Hardy's
yeah,
is.
yeah.
If you're coming from Conway at the stoplight where Hardy's is at, turn left.
Yeah,
And you go around the curve and it's on the right.
that's right. That's right. Um, yeah, so yeah, we were supposed to be in Socastee, or as the non-locals call it, Socrates.
Or Sacasti.
Sacasty.
Sacasty. We were supposed to
Sacasty.
be at the Sarvis house tonight, in Sacasty,
Mm-hmm.
in Socastee, and unfortunately that got canceled. Well, it got postponed. There was some unforeseen family emergencies that rose up that we had to postpone. Um, Everybody's fine with Ghost of the Coast. We're all good. But there was some family emergencies on the other end that popped up that caused us to postpone. So we'll be going live. Hello to the lantern. We'll be going live from the Sarvis house in Socastee when we reschedule that date. But also we're gonna have some. We're doing some events with them this fall. So I'm excited about those.
Exciting.
Yep, I'm
Yes.
excited about that too.
Yes. So we're going to be doing some events with the Sarvis House in Socastee this fall. Those are still in the works, and those are going to be public events. So y'all that are watching, y'all that follow us, will be able to come out and actually join us. So
Yes.
we're gonna, yeah. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of
And
fun. I'm excited.
oh yeah, and then we will be going. Um, then we will be going to. Oh, sorry, Chris. I didn't realize you were waiting.
I was waiting backstage here.
Yeah. Um, so we will be going doing the Heritage Festival as well in Socastee this next spring, next April. So yeah. So hello everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo. Um, but yeah. So I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. So let's, while we're here, while we're waiting for people to pop in and ask some questions, this will also record. So this is a new streaming platform that I've found. I mean, Deborah, I think we've used it before when we were a guest on another podcast.
Yes, we did.
Um, so this is a really cool platform. I did pay for the trial. It's a really cool platform. It allows like streaming and like multi guests, multi streams, be able to go live. And one of the things I don't think I told y'all three about, but one of the things that we were discussing with the podcast is starting a once a month live on the podcast and doing one live episode a month.
Yeah.
So basically we'll just go to different locations and be live on these episodes. So that'll be really cool.
That's fun.
We got
Yeah, that'll be
9
fun.
we got yeah, that'll be really fun. Oh, Deborah popped out,
Yeah.
but that's all right. She's in the car. Um so yeah, y'all Chris, how you been?
Pretty busy.
Yeah.
Pretty busy. It's tourist time, even though some of the kids around here went to school. A lot of the kids from the Northeast, they're coming
Yeah.
down here now. So they don't have school until after Labor Day, so it's still busy out here. Flooding is still an issue though in some areas.
Yeah.
So yeah, but my house,
Yeah.
we did pretty good during Debbie.
Well, that's good. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was crazy. Like that wasn't
Mhm.
like it was a tropical storm, but um it was brought a lot of water. Like it sat on us for
Yeah.
what, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it was
like
bad.
3 days, and now all the rivers are cresting right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So, our inlet is getting flooded. It'll come up over the Marsh Walk probably tomorrow. Goat Island was almost completely gone last night when I was looking.
Oh wow.
The riverside, it's, the Walk-A-Mall is rising. I've got a friend who has a restaurant over there. It's, you know, in the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the rivers are still crusting. So, that's
Wow.
the only worry right now.
All right. Hello,
Yeah.
Carolina's Unknown. Thanks for joining us tonight. Um, yeah, I know it was a weird storm. I'm glad that other one that was out right after it decided to turn and not come this way.
Ernesto, yeah, it's
Yeah.
hitting Bermuda right now.
Yeah.
Like, bye, Ernesto.
But
Adios.
yeah, so we're gonna, once a month we're gonna start and do like in one live podcast episode each month. So I think that'll be cool. And with all of us being able to hop on this, we probably will continue to use this platform because it's pretty cool and pretty easy. I'm in my husband's office right now. Um, but yeah, y'all watching, let us know if you have any questions about paranormal investigating, and all of that, or any questions. This is an open platform. We're gonna answer your questions.
Yep.
No matter how weird they are, we're gonna be on here for about an hour tonight. Because like I said, we were supposed to investigate tonight, but unfortunately, it did get postponed, and So we're down to clown tonight. We're down to clown. But
Yeah.
but while we're here, I mean, let's I'm just going to treat this like a podcast episode. Why not?
Uh-huh.
So one of the things that we talked about last week when we went to the Legion in Loris, um, was so for those of you that listen to the podcast, I have been in a rabbit hole with like finding out my past life. And so I came up with a really cool experiment for the next time that we go to the Legion or anything military related. Which thinking of it now, Candy, we might could try it at the Civil War cemetery over by you. The
Mhm.
Yeah.
but so my past life, basically, I was a Civil War soldier for the Union Army, and it was really cool to get it confirmed and to get that confirmed, and basically down to the regiment that I was in and all of that. And so now I've been on a search for my name, who I was, and um, and I can't narrow down a name. Like what I feel is the name is like it was a very like your typical name from a time from that time period, like a Thomas or a
Thomas.
Charles or a
Yeah.
George. You
I
know,
say George.
Candy said George, but I have found the list of um, the enlistments for that
The
specific
name
regiment.
Henry just popped into my head
Yeah, I've looked up. I felt Henry
for whatever
too,
reason.
but I've found the list of the enlistments for that regiment, and
Mhm.
which was really cool. And I've
There's
gone
probably a lot
through.
of them with the same names, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem
Yeah, that's just
is I've felt that it was that I was between the ages of, hey dad, I was between the ages of 16 and 20 when I died, and I felt like I didn't die. Like if I had been found sooner, like I was in a battle, and if I had been found sooner, then I would have been okay. Like it was something to the leg. Like I feel
How
like it
many
was
people have you found in that age group in that regiment?
so there's a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So but here's the thing. So I've had it confirmed that I was 17, which makes sense. That fits that timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is so the Confederate Army did not have a
Somebody's looking.
um they did not have an age requirement for enlistments.
Yeah, see,
Whereas
people lied about their age
they
back
yeah,
took
then.
anybody.
they took anybody.
Yeah,
Whereas the Union Army,
anybody.
they had an age requirement of
People would
18.
lie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah, but they
so
lied. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, so I've been kind of sifting through the 18 and 19-year-olds trying to
Mm-hmm.
narrow it down. And I've narrowed it down to a couple of people, but the problem now is I can't find um all I can find is the enlistment records. I can't find the death records of these people. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, well, I'm sure I could, but I'm not paying to join Ancestry.
I was on
Ancestry is.
Ancestry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
love
yeah,
Ancestry,
I
and
was on that.
but I had to quit. I had to stop because it was just way too expensive. It got really, really,
yeah.
Yep.
really expensive.
Yeah.
So
And that's a
so
shame because we could really use it. It would be very beneficial to us
yeah,
as
Mhm.
paranormal investigators, but it's just, I can't pay 60,
right.
70 bucks a month
I
for it.
know.
Right. And the
I can't,
only
That's what I was doing.
yeah,
I
and
can't
like
do it.
the library has free version, but there's only so much you can do with it.
Yeah. So
Right.
you
But
need,
Yeah.
we need the full version where you have access to all the old newspapers,
right,
all
yeah.
the old death and marriage records, military records, all of that.
Yeah.
We need the whole
But
shebang.
oh, for sure. That would be great. If anybody wants
Yeah.
to sponsor that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, let us know.
But but so so I'm having like I've gotten a couple different names from like Candy said George, you said Henry.
Mm,
I felt it was
top of my head.
Thomas. I think Deborah said it was Robert, and Linnea got a name as well, and I cannot remember what it was. But thinking back to it, the
It's kind of
name
weird though. None of us have gotten the same name.
right. So the weird thing is we have going back to George, we have gotten George come through
Yeah,
Spirit Box a lot on our
lot.
on a lot of our investigations.
And
So
we've never known what it meant because we've
right,
always had the questions about the significance.
right.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
what I want to do, maybe next time we go to the Legion or if we go to the Civil War Cemetery, is see if I can make that connection with these soldiers and bring them like or then like kind of see if we can connect and get any information from them because spirit can
But you are a
communicate with spirit.
Union soldier, right? You
Yeah,
said Union.
yeah,
You were Union.
yeah.
Yeah.
But spirit can communicate with spirit. So I'm wondering if they can be like, "Hey, does anybody know who this person is?" See if they'll come through. But that would be really cool to communicate with with like a past life spirit. I know it's not their soul because that's their soul.
Yeah.
What I understand from past lives, their souls transfer. So I would have their
Mhm.
soul. However, the maybe the energy of their spirit is still lingered,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So I think that would be a cool experiment to try.
Mhm. Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
it's kind of odd though that none of us have come up with the same name.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Is there a
So
particular place you were drawn to? Like a particular battle or something you're more drawn to?
Yeah, do you know
well,
where you died? Do you have any idea
so
where?
so
Yeah. Do
I
you have a
so
feeling?
so I had I didn't. I did not until we talked to Latrina Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And she confirmed that it was Harper's Ferry.
Okay.
So I was trying to do some research on that. Um, but and I knew it was a battle. I just didn't know where it wasn't a well-known battle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I feel is it wasn't like a well-known
Right.
wasn't a
Right.
well-known battle.
Right.
But it's just one of the I mean, I think it would just be so cool to be able to figure out who I was in a past life and where where I might be. I think like I feel almost like it was I was never found like or if I was found like I wasn't identified. You
Yeah, I
know what
was
I
going to
mean?
say a lot of people I
That could
think
be.
were not identified.
Yeah. Like I feel
Right.
like I probably wasn't identified. Like I was found, but then I was just thrown into the pit with everybody else.
Exactly. Because
And
they had mass graves,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then they would go off to the next town and whoever was left with battle,
Yeah.
and then they would hope someday to come back,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but that didn't always happen.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel is that it was I was found but just tossed to the side. And that could be why I can't find a death record of this specific
Very
person
possible.
dying in this specific battle.
Very
Right.
possible.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a feeling that I've already found the name, but I can't narrow down which name it is. So, like, as I'm looking up the names, I'm trying to figure out,
You
um,
will. You'll figure.
yeah,
Something will happen. It'll come to you, or
yeah,
we'll
Yeah.
find out
I mean,
one.
it could come to you in a dream, something like
yeah,
that,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
where the name will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all
Yeah.
know anything about y'all's past lives?
I don't. I've never.
Just what she told me, and I got it written down on my phone.
I've never
Forgot.
done
Yeah,
that. I've never done a past life regression thing. I would love to.
yeah. I did mine on the YouTube University.
I would love to do it.
Yeah. I'll
Hmm.
send you a link for it, but you gotta get
Okay,
to
cool. Yeah, I would love to
you
do
gotta
it.
get to a space where you're like able to calm and meditate and chill.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But that of all the past lives that I know that I've had, that one is the one that I'm most drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
it's
just feel very drawn, and I always have felt very drawn to like White Earth, like to that time period. You know, to
yeah,
those. I've just
Yeah.
always felt very drawn to that.
Wild
To
Yeah.
West.
yeah, to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of how you can find out what your past life was. My mom told me when as a child, some of the stuff that I was interested in when I was like 3, 4, 5, and 6 years old, memories that I really don't
Mhm.
remember. And my mom told me how I was doing yoga when I was like 3, 4, and 5. I would be in different positions and I would hold myself a certain way and I would hum and I would meditate. And my mom would look at me and go, Christine, what are you doing? And I would just be completely just zoned out, just doing yoga. And I didn't know what yoga was. This is before anybody got into this. This is back in the 60s. And
Right.
then when I became 13, 14, 15, I started studying yoga because I was just drawn to it. Then I found out one of my past lives was in India.
Yeah.
And I was
Okay.
performing, different yogas and was hanging with different priests and yogis and things like that when I was very young.
Right.
Found
Now,
out
do
why
we?
I'm an artist today. It was my past life in Greece being taught art. I was a young boy, um, and being schooled
Now,
in
do we?
Greece.
Do
So
we
that's where my
all
art
have
background.
more? I'm sorry. Do we all have more than one past life?
Yeah,
I believe so. I mean, if you
I
think
believe so.
about it,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like
Mm-hmm.
uh energy's been around for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they from what I've heard is some people can have past lives as like star seeds
Mm-hmm.
from outer space.
Yes. I
You can
mean, and
be
when we die,
because
that
your
energy
energy,
doesn't.
Yeah,
When we die, that energy doesn't go away.
right.
It's still
right?
here.
So that makes me
Yeah.
wonder too. That makes me wonder then, and y'all let us know in the comments too. But it makes me wonder, like, so we know the energy, we know spirit energy lingers. So is that, but like souls will go on to
Mm-hmm.
a next life. So is the energy
Mm-hmm.
that we communicate with, is that just specifically spirit energy because that soul has moved on? Or are we communicating with a specific soul because their energy has not moved on, that they have not moved on?
Hmm.
Right. It's a matter of are you dealing with somebody's consciousness
Right.
or their soul?
Maybe, maybe that could come into question when we talk about intelligent spirits and the spirit.
Residual.
Yeah, the
Residual.
residual.
So
Maybe the residual is just
Right.
that energy just
Yeah.
doing what it did.
It could
right.
be.
But
So
the
then
intelligent ones are the ones, the energy, the spirits that we can actually communicate with.
right. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just the idea behind past lives to me is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just so
Because
fascinating.
according to different religions, God gave us that freedom, that free will.
Mhm.
We have free will.
Right.
So I kind of take that as if you die and you don't want to go into the light, I think if you want to stay here, you stay here. You want to pass on, you go on into the light. I think
Right.
sometimes you might want to just come back and try it again. Hopefully you
Yeah.
get it right the next time, kind of a
Well,
thing.
right. And we know spirit can, you know, do you think when spirit because we know that they can travel, they can go and then come back and go and come back and visit, go and come back and visit, so on and so forth. So
Well,
do
that's
you
like what happened to me. I mean, I was given the choice whether or not to come back, and I chose
right,
to come back.
right.
There you go.
Wendy
My father
Wendy
told
just
me I couldn't stay. He said I
yeah,
Well, you
had
had
to go.
help too. You
So
had
you were
somebody
given a
for you back.
choice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wendy just said, not all souls move on. Some choose to stay until they are ready to move on to
That's right.
something new, in my opinion.
Mhm.
She said, I'm with Chris.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I
At
mean,
one point there you go.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, so that means at some point, those that we communicate with on our investigations aren't always going to be able to come back and then communicate with us because they're
Mhm.
going to, I mean, eventually that free will, they're going to get to make that choice and say, okay, we're going to go and move on,
Yeah.
which makes sense because if y'all think about it, the first time we went to the opera house, how busy it was.
Mhm.
And then
Yes.
the second time and the third
Yeah.
time that we went, there was nothing.
It got
Nothing.
less and less.
Yeah.
The last
Yeah.
time was just nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it
Mhm.
could be like the little
Mhm.
boy that we were communicating with. He was
Yeah,
like
he moved on.
he was fulfilled.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, I think that the spirits that we communicate with, the spirits that stay here, I fully believe have something left undone, something left unsaid, something
right.
that they feel like they need
Right.
to do or
Well,
say before
Yeah.
they
just so
can.
y'all know, if I when I go, if I go before y'all, I'm coming back and haunting y'all's ass just to
Yeah, me
prove you,
too.
just to
Me
be like,
too.
here I'm here. This is
Me
what's going
too.
on.
Me too. I'm gonna be like,
I've
yes, we
got
can
something
do
on my
this. We can
phone
communicate.
Yeah,
that
Hmm.
yeah,
that everybody has to see when they get together when I die. I've got
yeah,
everything on my phone. I've already told, Paul,
yeah,
everybody's got to watch this because I'm giving
yeah,
instructions
yeah,
after I go that you all, and it's up to you, you're going to be calling me back and we're going to find that proof.
yeah.
And,
Heck
Hmm.
and
yeah.
you're going to be calling me back. So,
Hmm.
hopefully
No, we're
we
gonna
can
be
actually
gonna
find that proof. And
we're
you're going
gonna
to call me, but you got to watch it because I do want to rest up every once in a while.
yeah. Look, we're gonna show up to your funeral all in black suits with a spirit box in hand and just
Yep. And
No,
it.
not all in black. I want you to party. Come on.
oh, okay,
Dang,
okay.
just
But I
have a
think
good
that's why.
party, but,
I think that's why I keep getting
have
my
one for
brother.
me.
I think
Yeah,
that's why I keep getting my brother occasionally, especially at the
River.
Riverwalk. Today's his birthday.
It's
Yeah,
birthday.
So
So happy heavenly birthday to your brother.
yep.
thank you. I have been very emotional today, but I think that's why I keep getting him occasionally. And I think that's why he tried to reach out to me the night before he died when he was dying, because he knows that we can communicate. He knows that
Right.
we can detect him. He knows because he was a big believer in this. Oh,
Yeah.
and when I was in Indiana, um, I was sitting down in a chair and
This
I
was
was
super
talking to
cool.
Christy on FaceTime, and a dragonfly, which we talk to Frank as being a dragonfly now. A dragonfly come right up to me and landed on my chair and let me pet him.
I have a picture.
And let the baby pet him.
I have a
As
screenshotted
I call
picture.
him Frank.
Oh, wow.
I have a
Cool.
screenshotted picture of her literally petting this dragonfly.
And then he flew off.
Very
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, I
that's
thoroughly believe.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
that goes into another thing too. Like spirit communicates even when we're not investigating. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
it was the
Oh
wildest
God.
thing
If I,
several weeks ago. Um I had somebody that Deborah knew. I didn't know him, but somebody that Deborah knew come through. And like I was just minding my business. And it was the weirdest thing, like, all day long, I kept feeling like I was underwater and listening to Charlie Brown teacher talk, "Womp, womp, 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 womp," like, all day, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I texted Deborah and I texted Candy, I said, "Have y'all had, like" I don't know if spirit's trying to talk to me today or what's going on, but has it been weird for y'all today? And they were like, yeah, it wasn't like anything too weird, but it was just like, yeah. Um, and I was like, there is this woman here, and she's got I don't know her, I don't know who she is, but she is like persistent. Like this is what she has to say. And I put it out there, put her name out like out there, and Deborah goes, "Oh my God, I know who that is." Like I'm not gonna mention who it was, but she's like, "Oh my God, I know who that is." And I was giving her like specific I had never met
Yeah,
this woman in
Yeah.
life.
you hit it on the
Mhm.
Yeah.
nail on the
Yeah.
head on that one.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They
I
told me
was
about
given
that.
specifics about this woman. And
Yeah. Deborah told me about that. That was
it was
crazy.
the wildest thing. And it was like she was talking, 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 talking. And then all of a sudden she's like, all right, I remember she was treating it like a phone call because she's like, all right, I'll call you later. So it was the wildest thing. But I think for me, like to have that happen was so like because I'm so new in my gifts. So to have that happen was the
Yeah.
coolest and wildest thing. And every once in a
Yeah.
while, like, because I think Deborah asked, and I'll ask you guys this: when you hear spirit, how do you hear spirit? How does it sound to you?
Now, to me, it's very
Sometimes
vivid
it's straight
because
on words,
it sounds
you
Like,
like rain.
know, like
but
like
is it
right here, and I'm like,
but is it in their
like I
voice or is it in your
No,
internal
I
voice?
don't hear a voice. Sometimes I feel what they're thinking or wanting me to say.
right.
And then
Mhm.
sometimes stuff just pops in my head like Henry a while ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That wasn't my thought. I don't know where that came
Yeah.
from. But as you were talking about that, it just came. But sometimes I literally feel what they want me to know.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
See, for
Yeah.
me, like when I
I've
hear,
literally heard voices out loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
see,
that was scary. I was
for
really little.
me,
I would hear them out loud.
yeah, for me, it sounds in my own internal voice. So like
Now,
I hear
Shayla
it,
Okay.
hears their voice.
Yeah.
I hear it in my own
Yeah.
internal
Hears it.
voice,
She
So
hears
and
their
you start to
voice.
doubt that though, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
You start to
and that's
doubt it when you're
yeah,
hearing it in your own internal.
exactly. So
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
me, it was the coolest thing when we went to the jailhouse in Tabor City, the first time to have Sharon there to kind of confirm what I was hearing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
because we were saying the same
Yeah.
thing at the same time. Like, it was cool to have that confirmation for me to know what I was hearing was actually what I was hearing and not my wishful thinking, you know?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
Wendy said, from what I've seen, the devices used are on frequency that taps into spirit world, astral plane. This realm parallels the planet and the closest to us. If you look at mediums, many mediums vibrate at different frequencies, but some connect to the higher realms and some connect to lower or shadow realms, some connect to earthbound spirits, etc. So
Mhm.
I believe electrical frequency come into play as far as investigations
Yeah.
goes. And then she said also
Yeah.
when we were talking about spirit communication, she said it's different for each medium.
Mhm.
Yes,
But
it
I have
is.
a
Some
friend
of
who
them will hear it
studied.
up in here and
yeah, go ahead, Christy.
yeah.
Sorry.
I have a friend who
Go
studied
ahead.
quantum physics, and he totally believes in what we do. And he said energy does not go away; it
Right.
is here forever. He
It
said it's just
changes.
it changes, it
Hmm.
morphs into stuff. He said we exist on different planes on this earth. He said that's why he said spirits are on a different plane. The energy may shift to another plane, but it never goes away, and it will always come back. It always
Right.
comes full circle.
Different timelines too.
Yeah, different
So
timeline.
here's the thing, then,
Right.
too. Moving forward from that, do you believe? Um, do you believe that we have, as current humans, current souls? Um, do you believe that we have jumped timelines in our physical body right now? Do you believe that our timeline has shifted?
I think so.
Yeah.
Stuff just
I
seems.
think it's going on right now.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
happening.
now's the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
doing
think
it
we're
now.
shifting now.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes and I can't really give a specific example, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes things happen that's just weird.
Oh, let me tell you. Okay.
Just
So, yeah,
weird.
I
Well,
think
like matrixing and stuff, and
yeah.
everybody's
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
Well,
that.
okay, let me tell you, like, the weirdest thing for me, And I remember this moment. Yes, Wendy said since COVID. Yes. Well, that's also when like a big spiritual shift came for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's when
Yes.
I started
Yeah.
opening up.
Yes.
Um, but the weirdest thing, and I remember this. Hey, Craig. Um, I remember this as if it was yesterday. I am not a very political person. I don't put my politics out there. That's one of those things that I just keep to myself. But
Yeah.
on election day, 20 no, yeah, 20 what 16, right? Yeah, 2016 when it was between Hillary and Trump. I went to bed that night. Hillary was in the lead.
That
I
was weird.
I woke up the next morning,
Yeah.
Donald Trump was president. Like
Yeah.
it was the weirdest thing, and I remember thinking, I'm like, is this? And again, I'm not.
Is this a joke?
I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking that. Like, but again, I'm
Vanilla.
not a political person. I don't
I don't.
voice my opinions out there. I keep it to myself. But I woke up thinking, like, is this a joke? Just simply for the fact that when I went to bed that night, they were still counting and
Mhm.
Hillary was in the lead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
It's
let
like
me
you
I,
tell you.
jumped into that alternate universe.
yeah,
You're
it was like
Yeah.
universes just shifted in
I
that
just
Totally.
moment.
asked. I'm sorry. I just asked Candy if we should pick this up and turn around so the light behind us would
Yeah,
show on our
because we
faces
can't
so you could
see
see us.
you.
Y'all
And then
dark.
the light went out.
Oh,
When I
that's
said that,
weird.
the light to the
Whoa.
football field,
Hey,
the light
Gina.
went out. The light went to the football field went out.
Oh, that's weird. Get you
But
some
we've been hearing
flashlight.
stuff to on the other side of me. We've been hearing like people go. Something said "Hey" while ago, and then I seen something duck behind this tombstone over here. It sounds like
Ooh.
footsteps just now. Yeah, but it was weird because when I said, "Should we turn around so the light can be in our face?" the light went out right then. I
Light
mean,
went
like
That,
off
as I
and
said it.
that's weird.
they're
Yeah,
messing with them.
Look, Wendy said the ghosts are coming for you.
that's
Yeah.
what we out looking for. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got too much hiding.
Candy
Turn
and
on the
Christy are
flashlight.
doing an impromptu investigation
Yeah.
since we were supposed to go to Sockasty tonight for the Sarvis house. So that unfortunately got postponed, but um
We are on location.
they are on location at the Aner Cemetery doing an impromptu.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I think like that was just one instance where I felt
Oh, there we go.
God, y'all look
You have to go,
creepy.
woo.
maybe we need another one too.
But but that's just one instance where I felt the timeline shift. And it was bizarre.
Mhm.
All right, let's wait.
And I'm sure there's been others. Yeah, I'm sure there's been others. I personally think that we shifted in 2012 when the world was supposed to end.
See the
Um,
EMF going
I
off.
remember that.
yeah, I think we shifted then too.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all that are just joining us, we're talking about all things, all random things. We're talking about we're talking about spirits. We're talking about past lives. We're talking about um all things weird. Um but yeah, I mean,
Get up
so
here.
what are some experiments that y'all think would be really cool to try on investigation?
Oh, I don't know, Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that we were talking about doing with Sharon was pretty cool. I asked her the other day if she thought she could do it about your past life,
Yeah.
and she said, "I don't know. I've never tried, but I'll give it a shot."
Yeah, and that was another thing, asking Sharon to see, like, maybe me, Candy, and Sharon can just get together one day and and have Sharon see what she can pick up on it on my past
Yeah.
Yeah.
life. That would be
Mm-hmm.
cool. Joe Smith just said, "Are you investigating?" So unfortunately, there was an emergency that came up with the location we were supposed to be at tonight. Um, so we had to postpone it. Um, so just send prayers out for the Sarvis house itself, for the folks that work up there. But we're fine. Everybody's fine. But there was just an unfortunate emergency that popped up, so we had to postpone that investigation. So we decided, since we were going to go live anyway, that we would pop on and do a Q&A and just chat with you guys for a little bit.
And we're
Um,
just out hunting cemeteries.
yeah, Candy and Christy are out looking for ghosts at a cemetery. Um, but Wendy said, I saw a huge flock of baby ravens in August of 2019, right before COVID hit. It was like the movie The Birds. Oh my God, I would poop my
Yeah, I
pants.
would freak out.
I'm
I'm
not
so
a big
family
fan of
Yeah.
birds. I'm not a big fan of birds and bugs. You know what's funny? And um, you ladies have a Wendy just said there's a male standing behind y'all.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, we've been hearing something.
We felt it a while ago.
Yeah, we felt something.
Um,
And our EMF detector's been going off.
Yeah.
It's calm right now, but
Yeah.
it's been going off.
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
I would like to try an Estes session where the person asking the questions is literally outside
yeah.
or somewhere like really far away where there's absolutely no possible way that they could hear
Yeah.
the questions, and have somebody say downstairs at a location and somebody upstairs at a location and see what the answers would be, the responses would be.
That would
Well,
be cool.
I think our experiment at the Tobacco Museum
That's what I was
w-
going to say. We tried
was
Yeah.
a
that.
was a good
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
However,
Mhm.
however, the so at the Tobacco Museum, the last time we investigated there, what we did was we split up into three different
Three.
teams,
Mhm.
3 teams.
and one person did automatic writing
Mm-hmm.
with headphones in. One person did Estes session, and then one group had EMF and
The
the
envoy.
envoy.
Yeah, the
And we
envoy,
were in
the
we were
envoy didn't. It didn't
yeah,
work.
we were in separate parts of the museum, and each group had a walkie-talkie, and then our friend Craig was in our home base area of the museum, and he was asking questions through the walkie-talkie. Well,
Mhm.
one of the things that we didn't take into consideration was, if the walkie-talkie is close to EMF or REM pod or Envoy or whatever, it will
Set it off.
set it off.
Yeah.
So that part didn't work. But
Yeah.
between, I think, Chris, you did the Estes and I did the automatic
I
writing,
She
did
did.
Estes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we were getting
Yeah.
pretty accurate answers.
Mhm.
She was getting
Um,
spot on.
Mhm.
yeah. So that was a
That was
cool.
spooky. That place still, to me, was like, one of
I
Well,
the
still would like to
heaviest
yeah.
go back there. That was
investigations.
cool.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would like to go back there.
I'd go back, but
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
first time we went, y'all, I think that was the night that I realized how much of an empath I actually
Well, now
am.
we know
Yeah.
what to do with you, Aaron.
Mhm. Yeah.
Tell me to sit down and shut up.
Yeah,
Um,
that
Pull
was.
her out of the
I would like to
building.
get back.
yeah. So yeah, the first time we went to the Tobacco Museum is this South Carolina Tobacco Museum in Mullins, South Carolina. So if y'all haven't been, if y'all don't know where I'm talking about, um,
It's a very interesting place. They have
yeah,
wonderful artifacts about the
yeah.
history and everything about the
So,
history of tobacco.
so yeah, so the first time we went the whole group. That was one of our first investigations. I think maybe our second investigation. And it was wild because that was the night that I learned how much of an empath I was. So what we typically do, and I think we've kind of gotten out of it, and I want to start doing it again, but the automatic writing when we go before
I was going to say
investigations.
you should try that again.
Yeah. So typically what we would do would be a meditation before an investigation. And so we would, some of us, when we meditate, like for me personally, when I meditate, I'll do automatic writing. So I'll just write down whatever comes through, whatever I hear, whatever I feel, I'll write it down. So then,
Yeah.
all right, Joe, thanks for joining us. Um, so then and Linnea does it, and Chris, you do it as well. So what we would
Yeah.
do is like halfway through our investigation, we would compare notes. So going to that investigation at the Tobacco Museum, that first time, we had each gotten that there was a man there, and he was like a very distinguishable man, like he was high up in the city. And
Mhm.
he did not like women. Like women were only good for two things: making babies and making sandwiches. Like this was he was from like the 18 when like he was there when the town was founded. And we think we know who it is, but we so we all got that he just did not like women, and here we are, an all-female team going into this location where this guy did not like women. And we were doing, I don't know when it happened. Y'all say it was during the Estes when in the tobacco barn, but this guy came through, and y'all, I felt he was so mad. um I felt like I felt every bit of rage and anger this guy had. And like I remember like my head, like I'm like, why are you letting him get to you? But like my body, like I could feel the anger, and I wanted to throw hands with him. Like I wanted to go into this back room where he was hiding and fight this ghost. Like I was like ready to fight. And I
Well, it
felt,
affected all of us when we were in the back.
yeah, I mean we all got punched in the back
Hmm.
Yeah.
at one
Way in the
point.
back.
We
Yeah.
all had
Yeah.
back pain.
Yeah, and I was ready, and I remember at one point thinking, like, because I was feeling what he was feeling was, "There's so many people in here. Why are there so many people?" Like, just, but once I got out of the building, I was fine. But that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened, because that was the
Mhm.
first time my emotions ever got manipulated. And, and it hasn't happened since, I don't believe, um yeah, that was a cool investigation.
Mhm.
Men like him are the reason we have women's lib now.
Yep.
um, but yeah, I mean, that was probably that. What are some of your favorite? So we've been at this now for almost 2 years.
Yes.
What
Got a
are
birthday coming up.
we do? We should celebrate by doing a live on our birthday. Woo!
Yeah.
November
Mhm.
9th.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite what's one of your favorite places that we've been thus far in the nearly 2 years that we've been at this?
Hmm.
Mine was the secret location.
Yeah,
Which
that was
one?
good.
Which
The,
one?
The big one.
the big secret one.
Ah, yeah, the one at the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
that was
And the Todd House, that's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that
despite
was really
everything that
cool.
happened.
That
Yeah.
But
We
one of
got
my fondest
there.
memories, one of my
That
fondest
was an
memories so
interesting
far,
night
it
for
was.
sure.
that was interesting. But one of my fondest memories so far is at the opera house when you and I were communicating with that child and all those
Mhm.
lights kept lighting up. That
Yeah,
was just awesome.
that
Now
was the
I have
coolest
to do
thing.
say though, I think the most emotional one that I've been to was
Mhm.
when we crossed over the child.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
exactly what I was gonna say, Candy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
mean, well, and that was such like to be a part of that
Mhm.
was
That was
such.
emotion. It was awesome. It was tiring. It took so much out of us because we were all trying so hard
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I mean, and that was,
communicate with her.
well, it was a very, very tragic situation,
Hmm. Yeah.
but to be a part of that
Yeah.
releasing
It was so
was
special.
very rewarding and very
Hmm.
special. Like it
Hmm.
really that
Mhm.
experience really touched my heart, and
Mhm.
it just to be able to do that. I mean, and we
Yeah.
typically,
And the
um,
jail one when we crossed over
Yeah,
the
that
jail.
gentleman.
Hmm.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
it's
mean,
Right.
you asked what our favorite thing was. I think I could find something special to mention about each location we've
yeah,
been at so
Each
far.
location.
yeah.
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 Well, and I mean, the thing too is like when we go into locations, like when we went to Nichols Library,
Yes. I
there
would love
was,
to go back there.
well, probably won't happen.
Well, ask and see because I would like
Uh,
that since that was our first
She's
one.
like, I don't know about that.
Since that was one of our first ones, I would love to try to go back and do what we do now.
yeah. I don't know if that one's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
You know, but that would be nice. That was a I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. Fleetwood Paranormal
Yeah.
says if you're working with your spidey senses, buckle up because it just gets crazier. Oh yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think all
Oh,
of
yeah.
our I think all of our senses, our abilities have grown tremendously in the past year and a half.
Yes. Yes.
I
I know
mean,
mine has.
yeah, I mean, it's the
Mhm.
wildest thing,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I think i- the Nichols Library, when we going back to crossing over, when we go into locations and we see, you know, at the Nichols Library there was a man and a woman, and
Mhm.
the man didn't want to go, but the woman did, and they were together.
Mhm.
And so we actually had to, we sat down with the woman and we were like, look, there is nothing physically holding you here anymore.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we always will give that option to spirit when we're
Mhm.
in the building. We're not there to
Yeah.
cleanse the building. We're not there to rid them.
Right.
Mm-mm.
But if spirit wants to, and if they're talking to us like, I can't go anywhere, I'm stuck here, that's when we open a door and kind of
Mhm.
say, look, you're not physically attached, you are free
Right.
to move forward into the light. And we always carry that option with us, and when it happens, it's really cool because you can feel it, you can feel when they leave, and you can feel the air just kind of feel
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah. The um
Yeah. That's
the,
what I
the
do
little
at the night when I sage.
Yeah,
I
the
always
little man
say
that the little
that's
man
your
that lived next
option.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
The
The
little
little man
man.
that lived next door may have crossed over by now because I think Deborah scared him to death.
That's true. That was
Oh my
so
gosh.
good.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was,
God, I forgot about that.
yeah. Well, I wasn't even there for that. I
Oh,
think
it was
it was
hilarious.
It
you
was, oh
and
my
Deborah,
God.
Deborah and her mom.
and Linnea was there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
Lenia
think
was
Yeah, they
Chris,
were
you
there.
and
yeah.
We were
you
down the hall.
yeah, we
Yeah.
were in the
And for
courtroom.
the listeners,
Right.
just so you know, we were in a separate part of the building. We were actually in the library, and I think y'all were over in the
Courthouse.
We
courtroom
Yeah.
or somewhere.
we were in the
Yeah.
courtroom.
And
Yeah.
we had lights on the table, motion lights that would light up. Well, there was this little a house right next door to the library, and the blinds were open, and Deborah saw this little man out there smoking a cigarette, and she moved, and the motion light came on, and he looked up and saw her standing there in the library,
Well, and the
and she
light was
said
like
he put the
shining this
cigarette
way.
down and hauled
Up,
tail.
it was up.
It was like a spooky
like a
flashlight.
like a yeah. She said, "I know he
That
thought
poor
he was
man.
seeing a ghost or something."
Well, and I'll tell you, like,
It
so
was so
I've
funny.
had I've had several experiences. I used to work there, so I had several experiences at that library.
Mhm.
Mm,
But one I will never forget, and I'm certain, based on the time it was, I'm certain it was my grandmother coming through to tell me, hey, this is what happened. And um, I was there. I was working at the Nichols Library the day that my grandmother passed away. I was the only one there. And I can't remember the exact time, but we'll say about 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I had an hour left of work. Um, I was sitting there finishing up my daily whatevers, and I hear this loud bang in the library. Just Phew, sounds like a bunch of books fall. Well, I get up to walk over and look because books falling over there was not uncommon. So I get up to go look for any books that might have fallen. There was nothing on the floor, no books falling over on the shelf.
That's crazy.
Well, about 10 minutes later, my dad calls me and he says, she passed away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I asked, he told me she passed away about 10 minutes ago, which was when
That
I
was her saying.
so I
Yeah.
think that was her coming through just saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'll come through on an investigation,
Mm-hmm.
which she did. And that was, for me, that was probably the coolest investigation,
Yeah.
was when she came through.
Oh,
But she's come through a couple times since then.
I just touched mom.
Yeah.
But
True.
yeah.
I feel it on.
I think for me, my favorite investigation probably was, oh gosh, probably was that undisclosed location, the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because, and Chris, I wish you could have gone that night. And
Mhm.
I'm hoping, we can maybe go back someday.
Well, they said we could.
Yeah.
They said we
So
could. My favorite part of that investigation was when you and Candy were doing the reveal.
yeah,
And hearing
We
all
were
the footsteps
hearing-
upstairs.
You
Yeah.
could hear a child running
Running.
upstairs. You could hear
Back
a
and
ball
forth.
bouncing.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
The
crazy.
coolest part about that whole investigation, I mean, the funniest part was the Estes session.
Yeah.
Because
That-
y'all,
that was-
if
that was
you
hilarious. That was hilarious.
y'all who are listening, go onto our YouTube. It is titled "One of the Greatest Estes Sessions Ever,"
Ever.
and it's 12 minutes long. Go watch it because it's hilarious.
It's
But
the
this,
funniest
It's
thing.
funny.
it's
Gosh,
the
it's
funniest
funny.
thing. So the backstory is this: there was a woman at this location who lived and worked here up until the day she was in her old age and she had basically went to a nursing home. So she lived and worked there all her life. And every day she would enjoy a glass of bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
So so
Did it?
we do this Estes
When she
session.
said that. When you said that, our EMF detector went to yellow.
A glass of bourbon.
It went to yellow. It just did it again. Oh my god! It did it again when you said that.
Do you want a glass of bourbon?
Oh, it didn't do it that time, but it did it the first two times.
Would you like a drink?
That would be yellow.
That would be Farron or Jack right there. That would be Farron or Jack.
It went to yellow again.
Do you want,
Oh my gosh!
so is bourbon your drink of choice?
It's just green. It's not.
Whiskey?
Do you
Oh,
want
yellow,
Do
yellow.
you want a drink,
Went
Jack?
to yellow.
Farron?
Yeah, it went to yellow. Yes.
You better,
They
you
love
better get
it.
him some
Candy
drink.
has,
Uncle-
Candy has family.
Yeah,
Uncle
he's
Jack
thirsty.
He used to sing at bars, and he would always get tipsy. Every time you said drink, it lit up, and we're right beside his
Yeah,
grave.
we're right here beside his grave.
Mm.
There he goes again.
So, going back to this Estes session. So
That's awesome.
this particular spirit was very adamant. She wanted her bourbon. She wanted her drink. And so she was telling I think Deborah was the one asking the questions, and she was telling Deborah, pour it. Get the bottle. And the coolest
She had a
thing,
favorite glass,
she had a favorite glass,
and
but
we had it there.
but Deborah picked up a dirty cup, and Spirit comes through the Estes session and says, "Is it clean?"
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I would bring the EMF detector over here so you can see it, but it will go crazy because of the cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
true.
We've got it away
but-
from the cell phones.
But the
funny.
coolest thing was Deborah had asked the ladies that worked there at this place to get some bourbon. And so they brought over 2 different bottles of bourbon.
Mhm.
I think 2 or 3.
They brought over
Crown.
Crown Royal and something else.
Yeah. And Deborah was pointing, "Do you want this bottle or do you want this bottle?" And Spirit
It
come through
said
and said,
that bottle.
that
That
one.
Mhm.
So it was the wildest thing. And then again, going back to being empath, like I don't drink. I rarely have a drink. When I do, it's like when I do have a drink, I'm partying, I'm throwing down. But it's several years will pass before I have a drink. But I hate the taste of brown liquor. But y'all, I started tasting liquor. I started feeling like I was like buzzing a little bit, and then Deborah takes the
Smelling.
glass.
Then she started smelling it.
Then Deborah takes the glass and goes, "Woo," and I
Right
could
on
She
smell
goes,
your
it.
y'all, I swear I
nose.
smell it. I smell bourbon. I smell bourbon.
I was
I smell
adamant.
liquor. And we were
But
all
Oh
about to wet our
man.
pants because
yeah,
it was funny.
that was the coolest Estes session though.
It was.
But Fleetwood Paranormal just said, ask them if they can get something like bourbon where they're at as far as the spirit goes.
Oh.
Can you get bourbon or anything where you're at now?
Do you still enjoy drinking bourbon? It went to yellow.
Yeah, with the yellow.
Come
So
on.
there you go. Spirits can partake in spirits in the afterlife.
Yes.
There you
So
go.
you enjoy drinking your bourbon and singing now?
Turn it around.
Do you still do it? You still enjoy drinking your bourbon? Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still able to drink bourbon? Oh, oh, oh.
It's flickering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Did you
saw it
like to
flickering.
sing? Are you still able to sing? What kind of bourbon did you like? You like
Y'all
Crown Royal,
listening. Could you
Jack Daniel,
imagine? Could you
Jim
imagine
Beam?
if we got an EVP on this live stream?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I'm kind of hoping to pick up
Now it's
something.
slowing down.
That would be
You
cool.
gonna
If you can
stop
tell us what
playing
kind
with
of
us?
bourbon he likes.
Yeah.
We want you to
Like
show. We want you to show them that you
Crown
can light up our
Royal.
EMF detector. You like Crown Royal, Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, vodka, Everclear. Everybody liked Everclear.
Ooh.
Get some PJ.
Oh.
Like for us to get some bourbon and come out here and drink some bourbon and sing with you. We can do it.
My granddaddy's on the other side going, mm-mm.
Now it's not gonna do
I
it.
don't think
Sorry,
so.
y'all.
um
It has been going to yellow like crazy.
Another thing from that location, from that specific location, we would uh we would smell this lady's perfume
Yeah,
Yes.
everywhere in the
Yes.
building.
everywhere.
Everybody
And
smelled it.
and the weirdest thing was we walked out of the building into her garden
Mm-hmm.
and it followed us.
Mm-hmm.
And it followed us from the building to the garden.
Yep. You could
And then
smell it just
you
as
could
plain
smell
as
it.
day.
But then if you were walking like ahead of the group, you couldn't smell it.
Mm-mm. No.
And we even did a smell test, like because the
Yeah.
people that work there were with us. So we
Yeah.
did a smell test with them and we were like, we were going around sniffing
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
We're like
But
dogs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was and it was wild. And then you would randomly we smelled it when we went back to do the reveal. We
Mm-hmm.
smelled her on the stairwell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where she's been known to stand, and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
seen her there
Yeah.
on the stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean it's wild. It is the craziest thing.
I just
Um
love though hearing that ball bouncing and kids running around and knowing there was nobody there.
yeah.
And
I
they
mean
said that was an everyday occurrence. I mean,
Yeah.
they just
yeah.
it happens.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was freaking out.
It's wild. I definitely want to go back to the Todd house sometime. So Miss Pam,
Oh,
if you're
definitely,
listening,
definitely.
Todd
um,
I
House.
just saw something.
yeah,
Because we kept hearing a lot of stuff going on in Todd House.
yeah, that one was
Yep.
Yeah.
cool.
There was a lot of
So
noises.
that
Every
that
time we
one,
looked in one direction, it would be in another.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
ask
constantly
those.
moving.
Are those people still with us that saw the bell behind us?
No, actually, Wendy, are you still here? Um,
Okay.
I don't know if Wendy's still here or not,
I just
but
thought I saw somebody behind us. I didn't know if she was still seeing something
no.
or still knowing
Move your hand.
something.
I mean, like Christy's hand was in the way, so I couldn't see.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I don't see anybody right now, but I kind of feel somebody watching you.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the
But
Todd house was awesome. I hate that we weren't able to stay longer that morning. I know we had to leave though, but everything got ramped up there. I mean,
yeah,
what fascinated me was knowing that the trigger tray was going off on the second floor, and us knowing there was nobody up there.
yeah.
It was going off where
Well,
that cigarette
Right.
was laying, and
Yeah.
yeah,
it did it more than one
Yeah.
time. That
yeah,
was
and
awesome.
yeah, and that's the thing too is we when we go into locations, we typically will go into these locations completely blind. Like maybe one of us knows a very brief rundown of the history because we want to go in as blind as possible so that we're not biased to say, "Oh, well they have a little girl here that bounces a ball and runs down the steps." Well,
Right.
because if we go in that way, we're going to
Right.
be looking for that.
Right.
Yep.
So we
Right.
go in completely
Right.
blind
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and we'll bring trigger objects
Mhm.
that relate to that time period or
Mhm.
relate to like a function of that property.
Right.
So for the Todd house, those of you who aren't familiar, the Todd house is a beautiful, beautiful home. It's an event center now, but it was a
It was a boarding house
boarding
originally and
house.
restaurant. Then it was a restaurant in Taylor
Yeah,
City, North Carolina,
yeah,
and now it's an
beautiful
event
building.
space.
Beautiful, beautiful building. But so now they rent it out for weddings and stuff like that. But back when it was a boarding house, so we take these trigger objects with us to help kind of coerce the activity for the night. Um, so that night in particular, there was a we started our investigation. We had been there all day and we started our investigation as soon as it got dark out, and we were hearing stuff and hearing stuff left and right. I mean, constantly it was footsteps upstairs, or when we would go upstairs, it would be something downstairs, and
Mhm.
it was constantly moving.
Always.
So
Yeah.
then we had our own scare in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And we learned how
We
truly
can run up
fast
those
we
steps.
can run
And
up
how
those
Man.
fast we can
steps.
all run.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
Man.
um,
hide.
and hide. Yeah. So, but once that happened, and that particular scare was not paranormal, and it's funny because we will always say we are more afraid of the living than we
Than the
are the
Yeah.
dead.
dead.
Yeah, and that
And
that proved it that night.
True.
yeah, so so we had a human scare that night, but
Mhm.
so after that happened, that kind of we all like we could have easily like gone up to our rooms because they have in this location there's rooms there so you can go and sleep.
Yeah.
We could have easily have all gone up into our rooms or continued investigating, but at that point our adrenaline had like gone so high for like the last 2 hours that it just like phew. So we all ended up just sitting on the couch cracking up over
Yeah.
over the silly stuff. But
Yeah,
that
but when we heard that loud bang come from where the
yeah,
kitchen used to be,
We
yeah,
woke up
we
fast
woke
night.
up real fast.
yeah. So
And that's
about
when then we heard the trigger tray. Everything was going crazy about
yeah,
5:30 in the morning.
yeah. So with it being a boarding house, the former owner would so before it was a boarding house, the owner would make meals and basically pass it out to the sharecroppers that would come through on the trains and stuff like that and like give them a hot meal.
Mhm.
So then um, she created it as a boarding house. So she was still providing these meals to these men that were coming into town to work these farms, but they would also rent rooms every night. Each night they would rent rooms. She would make them breakfast, and then they would go out to the fields. So
Or go to the tobacco warehouses. A lot of them worked with the tobacco warehouses
right,
too. So
right. So as as we were about 5:30 in the morning, we started hearing footsteps, and then we heard in the kitchen, and it is no longer a fully functioning
Mm-mm.
kitchen.
No.
It's literally an industrial size sink, a microwave, and an ice maker. Like, I don't even think they have a stove in there.
There's
But
an ice machine, and yeah, I don't even think they have a stove.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice machine.
so
Yeah.
ice machine, an industrial size sink, and
Mm-hmm.
like microwave and refrigerator.
Yeah.
So the craziest thing, so that day during the day was a festival. So they had we were there all day. The Todd House was serving food out of, hey Lindsay, we were just talking about you. um we Lindsay, we want to come back and see you one day. Do another investigation for y'all if y'all will have us. But
Mm-hmm. I think so.
but
Is that the non-disclosed
y-
location?
that's the yes. She says
Yes.
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 Okay, so
Yes, we want to go back.
let us know some dates. We're open.
Yeah.
Um, preferably when it's cooler, so it's not so hot upstairs. And we have a little bit more equipment now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
She said I need to hear from Lily. LOL. We do too.
Yes.
Tell her we got somebody to talk to her now.
Yes.
Yeah. But at the Todd House, we about 5 o'clock in the morning, we hear this loud bang. So going back, during the festival, they were giving they were passing out food. So they had like
Mm-hmm.
they had all these what are those trays called?
Serving trays?
The serving
Yeah,
tray.
Serving
like
tray.
aluminum pans, like
Yeah. So they had all these
cake pans or
cake pans
what?
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had all these serving trays out um, that they had washed. They had them drying on the drying rack next to the sink. And about 5:30 in the morning, we hear them all just, and they had
Like
like,
crashed to the floor, literally.
yeah, but they didn't. They didn't
They
fall.
didn't.
They just shifted, and it was so loud. And then we were getting the REM pod was going off, and the night before,
The trigger
or
tray where the cigarette
yeah,
was.
so
It was upstairs.
we had placed again
Yeah.
using a trigger object. We had placed a cigarette on the trigger tray up in the upstairs hallway. So after the dishes all fell, we went back to the living room, and there we heard footsteps upstairs, and then we hear the trigger tray go off. And I mean, it was so we figured everybody was waking up, getting ready to go to work. So that was pretty cool.
And then
Li-
we seen that thing fly by my head.
Yeah,
yes,
that thing flew by her head. That was
Oh
crazy.
God, yeah.
yeah, that
That was
was
crazy.
wild. So they had a with this being a festival, they used the Todd House, like I guess so it's called the Sweet Potato or the Yam
Yam
Festival.
festival.
The Yam
Yeah.
Festival in Tabor City. And so the kids had a yam decorating contest where
Mm-hmm.
they each decorated little yams with, pipe cleaners and all that. Well, Candy was sitting in the living room area,
Yep.
and
On the
and
couch by the window.
by the window, and the room that the yams were in were on the way other side of the building, like
Where
a
we heard
good
all those trays crash
yeah
later.
a good little bit of a walk from
Yeah.
the living room to that where
Mhm.
those were. Well, Candy had a pipe cleaner from one of those projects fly at her, like from the other room to her.
The
And
person that was sitting beside me said, "What was that just went by your
What
head?"
was that?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Didn't it fly from behind?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It came from behind her, like near the window, and
Yeah.
went out into the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
hunted it down, and it come from
It was
one
a
of those
pipe
potatoes.
cleaner. Mhm.
yeah, it was a pipe cleaner, and we found the project that it was, and it
Mhm.
was the wildest thing. Yes,
Mhm.
Lindsay, September, October. Yes, that would be awesome. September, or October, just let us know when it Saturday or a Friday night. Let us know when.
Mhm.
So excited.
Yeah. Um, that was at the Todd House in Tabor City. Um, oh, you know what might be good? Maybe Labor Day weekend might be good for going back
I'm
there.
I'm
It,
I'm
oh,
partying all weekend.
you're partying all weekend. All
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah,
don't know where I'm going.
late
I'm
September,
gonna go
October.
in and out of town. I'm everywhere.
First of
Yeah,
October would be good.
yeah. Late September would be good. Or October would be good. Just let us know when so we can get you down.
Yes,
Um,
please. And
but
October would be cooler. It'd be cooler upstairs.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be. Yeah, we want you to be there for it. She said she'll be in Jersey for Labor Day. Um, yeah, check with Mary. Let us know.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely.
but yeah, so I definitely want to go back to the Todd house. That was a cool
Yes,
one.
yes, yes.
Um,
Make sure you get in touch with her, Erin.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
hate to
will.
say,
Yeah.
but my phone is
Yeah,
dying.
her Candy's
Yeah.
phone's about to die, so we're gonna have to hop off,
All
unfortunately.
right. Well, y'all be safe investigating, and we're gonna wrap
We
this up in
will,
a
we
minute.
will. Enjoyed it very
Yep.
much.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye,
Yep.
y'all.
listening,
Love y'all.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Um.
Bye.
Bye. Be
Have a
careful
good
out
one.
there.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna remove the.
There
So.
we go.
Yeah.
So,
So. Yeah. So. Yeah. I definitely want to go back to Todd House. I think that would be a cool one. Um. I
yep.
think I actually what I want to try and do if she'll let us. Um. Yeah, Lindsay, be in touch. We look forward to talking with you. But what I want to try
Bye.
and do since um, we have they have the rooms there at the Todd House, I think it would be
Right.
cool to see if somebody like sleeps. They don't necessarily have to go to sleep, but if they sleep in one of those rooms, to see what they might experience in the middle of the night.
Right.
I think that
Yeah.
would be
We need
same.
definitely have cameras in there. And
Yeah,
then like me, I don't know that I could sleep.
yeah. I don't think I
You
could,
know,
but
I don't know I could sleep,
yeah,
but like the room I had, I would have loved to have stayed in that room all night.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
the other location down there by you, when we go and do the overnight
Yeah.
there, I think that would be a cool
Yep.
experiment to do there as well. I don't
Yeah.
think I
I
could
can't wait
sleep,
for that.
but I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I
I
could
could
sleep
either.
there. But yeah, that that would be a cool
It,
one.
yep.
Oh, before we go, those of you that are watching and listening, because again, I think this is recording as well. But those of you that are watching or listening, we do have a merch store. Um, just so y'all know, we have. Let's see if these will pop up. No, yes,
Yeah. It's popping in and out. There you go.
that's not going to pop up very well. But
Uh-oh.
we do have a merch store. We have all kinds of stuff. We have um, tumblers. Let's see if I can. Virtual background, none. There we go. Look at there.
Okay.
All right. So we have koozies. Woo.
No.
We have keychains. Ghost to the
Yep.
Coast keychains. We have magnets. We have tumblers, y'all. Let me show you these tumblers. And Wayne is awesome. He is the guy that does all of our merch. He makes everything to order. So we have Ghost of the
Hmm.
Coast tumblers. Ooh. He makes everything to order. So if y'all want something, you can head over to his Facebook, uh, Bo's Liquid Creations. Um, and it's linked on should be linked on our Facebook page and on our website as well. But we also have t-shirts, coffee mugs. We got these Ghost of the Coast t-shirts. So he
Yeah.
makes everything to order and he is awesome about it. Like, if you've bought something from us already, thank you. But his stuff's great. Um, and then also, uh, as I've mentioned before, and I think I mentioned in just about everything that we do, this is a passion project of ours. This is we don't charge, we don't make any, we don't make money off of this investigating or talking at events and stuff like that. We do not make money off it. We don't profit. We do, however, accept donations. Everything that we do comes out of pocket.
Yeah.
Everything, funding investigations, funding equipment, travel, all of that comes out of pocket. So we do accept
Yeah.
donations. Um, so if you ever feel led to give, and anything that we receive via donations goes directly
Yeah.
into our team pot, and we use it for our website maintenance. Um, so we can do public events, so we can fund investigations, fund future equipment, future travel for these for bigger investigations that we want to do. One day we
Yeah.
want to be able to travel and go to Trans Allegheny and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
so if you
Uh,
ever feel led to give, there is on our website at the bottom of the page, I think it's at the bottom of each page, we have the link to, it'll go to my PayPal, but I immediately cash that out and put that in our safe, in our kitty. Um, so if you ever feel led to donate, our link is on our website, www.ghostofthecoastparanormal.com, along with a bunch of other stuff. If you haven't checked out our website already, go check it out. Um, we got our own song made for the podcast, which was really cool. So so we get that, we have our, we use it as our intro and outro of the pot for the podcast. So Candy's son-in-law made it for us, so that was really cool. Hey Brittany,
that was cool. Yeah.
we were just talking about your husband and the song he made for us. We appreciate that song.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we thank everybody for following along. We've been at this now for a year and a half, almost 2
Yeah.
years. I cannot believe it's been almost 2 years. It doesn't feel
No,
like
it's
it.
going on too. Oh my God.
Yeah, I
No,
know it doesn't feel like it,
no. But then
but
again, 20 years doesn't feel like that to me anymore either. So
yeah.
like
So
boom, it's gone.
right. So but those, in 2 year and a year and a half, we are now over 2,000 followers, which is amazing, because
It's awesome.
typically that will it takes a while to build up that following. So we
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
every single follower that we have, every bit of support that we have. Um, our from our followers to our families, um,
Yeah.
to significant others, for
I
putting
want
up
to thank my
with
followers too
yeah,
for coming out and
yeah,
supporting us too. So I want to thank my
yeah,
followers from my
absolutely,
page as well. Thank
yeah,
y'all so much.
absolutely. And if y'all be sure to go over and follow Chris at Inlet College Walking Tour. And those of you that are local to Horry County, um, go to the Marsh Walk and do her tour. It is amazing. You will not regret it. You will get all kinds of local history, um, and local tales, and you'll get the history behind these local legends. And
Behind the stories. Yeah.
it's amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend. I love when we do Chris's tour,
You.
and it's funny because every time, like, there's always that specific spot along your tour that they just
Yeah.
start talking all kinds
Yep.
of junk
They
and
be
stuff.
nasty.
They do.
They're
They do.
nasty.
Yeah,
They get
and
nasty out there.
they do, like drunken sailors. I mean, but yeah, definitely recommend her tour. And like, eh, there are other tours along the Grand Strand, but none of them are as factual educational and entertaining as yours, Chris. And
Thank you. I do the
absolutely,
research. I
absolutely.
do
I mean,
research. Yeah,
you can tell while it is your job, you can tell that it's your passion more so.
it's my passion. Yeah,
And
it
you
sure
know
is.
you can tell the love that you put into it. And so y'all definitely go check out her tour, give her a follow on her page. Inlet Cottage Walking Tour. Cottage, is it cottage and walking or cottage
And yeah, Inlet Cottage and walking tour.
and walking tour? But
Yeah.
yes, the support, we appreciate it 100%. We've got
Yep.
some big things coming up. We've got, you know, October, we've got some events coming up with the Sarvis House. And again,
Gonna
those
be
of you that are
busy.
watching, yeah, again, those of you that are watching, um, I know you were expecting a live investigation, but unfortunately, there was some emergencies that popped up on the side of the Sarvis House that we had to postpone. So y'all send
Mhm.
some prayers to the folks at the Sarvis House. Um, but yeah, October we got some busy stuff coming up. We've got events at the
Yes.
Sarvis House. We've got a couple people have reached out to me wanting to do. You know, we did a walking investigation in downtown Conway last year or
Mhm.
earlier this year with Kelly and Kyle from Paranormal South Carolina, and had a couple of people reach out to me wanting to do that with us. Um, maybe in the fall. So if you guys ever want to go on a walking investigation, let us know. We'll take you to some of the haunted spots around Conway. Um, but we enjoy doing it. And it's funny because we go, I feel like we've been to Kingston Cemetery so often that they know us now. I'll never forget the day that Christy and I had gone. It was a Thursday afternoon. Christy and I had gone up there, and we were looking at some of the graves and stuff, and I was running Spirit Box, and Spirit comes through and said, "You need to leave." Well, we know from experience that when Spirit says you need to leave, out. Well,
Oh,
so but they didn't say it. You know, a lot of times they come through and they sound menacing when they say it. But this
yeah.
particular spirit was, you need to leave. It's not safe. And as soon as they said that, a big thunder crashed.
There
And
you go.
then and we were like, "Oh, okay, well it's gonna storm." And they're like, "Yeah, the rain's coming." That's what they said. They're like, "Yeah, the rain's
Yeah.
coming." And within 5 minutes of exiting the cemetery, because you know we can't just walk out of a location in the night, you know, we have to sit around and talk for a few minutes. so so we we were sitting there talking. Within 5 minutes of us leaving that cemetery, the sky opened up and rain poured.
Pour down.
So Spirit was warning us that it was about to storm.
Yep.
But
Wasn't that nice? Wasn't
it
that
was
nice, the
very nice.
spirit?
It's
That was
very nice
nice.
in Spirit, yeah. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
Um thank you for all of your support, and stay tuned for some big things coming up.
All
And
right.
until next time, I'm going to treat it like a podcast. So until next
All
time,
right.
y'all come back now, you hear? Bye.